What's up guys, welcome back to another video, and in this video we're gonna work on our Brixton again. Today we're gonna clean and lubricate our chain. The chain in your sprocket is one of the most important parts of your bike to get yourself up to speed and moving forward. So if you clean and lubricate your chain and your sprockets, they will last longer and work better. So it is important to clean and lubricate your chain. So I'm gonna show you how you can do it on your Brixton. Now before we start the video, I just wanna say this is how I do it. This is how I feel comfortable when cleaning and lubricating my chain. There are much more simpler ways for cleaning and lubricating your chain, but this is just how I do it. This is how I feel good about it. So let's just jump into it and enjoy the video. Hope you learned something. So the biggest reason why I want to lubricate and clean my chain is because of this. You can see some residue. I really don't know what it is, but I want it out of there. It's not good for the chain. You can see it. It is on the chain itself. Is it rust? Is it something else? I don't know. But we're gonna clean behind here where there's the small sprocket and the big sprocket and the chain itself, and then lubricate it. So what you first need to do is put your bike in this position so the back wheel can rotate freely and you can access the master link. But first we need to remove that cover. To remove this cover, you just unscrew these two bolts, one on top and one on the bottom, and then the whole piece will come off. So first let's do that. It's 8mm. It's a little bit tricky if you don't have the right tools to access it. The bottom one is the hardest. I'm just gonna leave the top one a little bit screwed in so the plate doesn't fall off, or the cover, whatever you want to call it. Just unscrew the bottom one. It's a little bit tricky to get to it with a shifter, but if you pull it down you can access it like this. Here's the first bolt. Now let's unscrew the last one. Second bolt. And the cover is now released. As we can see, it is dirty inside. So it's a good thing we're gonna clean it. So this is what's behind the cover. It's your smallest sprocket. We're gonna clean out this whole area, but first we need to take off the chain. There's a little bit of white residue from the old lubrication. We're all gonna clean that off, and it's gonna be nice and pretty again, ready for new lubrication. But first we need to take off the chain. To remove the chain, you will need to find the master link. Here it is. This is what a master link looks like. What a master link is, you can take it apart and your whole chain will come off. Let's remove the master link and let's get the chain off. To remove the master link, you're just gonna need some needle nose pliers. And just take off the clip. This is the small clip you need to take off. Behind the little clip there is a small plate. And this is the master link. Now the whole chain is loose. We can pull it out. Just turn the back wheel and the chain should fall out. So here is our chain. Now before I'm gonna clean the chain, I'm gonna show you the master link again in case you missed it. To remove it, you just undo this clip. Whole clip comes out, then you can remove the plate and this slides out the chain, and then the chain is released. Now as we can see on the chain is very dirty. There's old grease, there's sand, there's dirt, there's rust, there is everything you don't want on a chain. So we're gonna clean it, and to clean it we're gonna use some old gasoline. This is 2-stroke gasoline, but we cannot use it anymore because it's gone bad. It's not good fuel anymore, so we use it to clean our chain. I'm just gonna put a little bit in here. Just take a brush, get some gasoline, and rub your whole chain in so the dirt can come loose. Do both sides. And just keep on cleaning until you removed all the dirt, sand and old grease until you get a nice and clean chain. So our chain is all clean now. Look at it. All nice and pretty again. There's still some dirt on it. You can't take it off all, or you have to soak it in gasoline for a while and just clean it off. You can do that, but this is perfect enough. Now let me show you how dirty this chain was. This was a new rack, all dirty. A second rack, all dirty. The cardboard piece, all dirty. So that is how dirty a chain can get with sand, dust, dirt, all that stuff you don't want on your chain. You want clean, lubricant, oil, all that. When I was cleaning the chain, I discovered something. I discovered what we call, or what I call, a dead link. A dead link is a part of the chain that doesn't move that smoothly. Now I'm going to show you how you can check if you have dead links in your chain. What you do is take the chain like this, put your finger on it and just run it down your finger and you will feel it. Now this here is a dead link. Let me show you. This is how a link normally behaves. Look like this. And this is a dead link. It is stuck. Now you can get it loose. Just wiggle it around. There may be some dirt left in it, but that is something you need to watch out for. Here we have another one. You can see how it pivots. This is how it normally pivots. See, there it is. You will feel it. Ooh, this is a stubborn one. Just go all over your chain, checking for dead links. Maybe they will loosen up once on the bike, but you don't want a lot of dead links in your chain. And with the amount of dead links I am finding, I might consider changing up the chain. Oh, this is a big one. These are multiple dead links. Look at that. That's not good. They're not completely stuck. I don't like it. I don't like it how the links get stuck. But I tell you, if you lubricate your chain good and clean it often, maybe you can loosen up the dead links. But if you have too much dead links in your chain, you might consider buying a new chain. Now that is why I feel like it's important to work on your own bike. Now I know that I have 4 dead links in my chain. So when my bike goes into maintenance with the mechanic, yes, I do my maintenance self and I bring him to the mechanic, I can now say to the mechanic, I found 4 links that are a little bit stuck. Maybe he'll give me the advice of buying a new chain, or maybe say I'm gonna take a look at it. But now I know, and that's why it's important to work on your own bikes. So let's continue. The chain is now completely clean. It moves much more better, but I kind of degreased it. So what this means, where the links come together, let me get the master link. This is your chain, and this is what is running inside your chain. You have this small chamber that needs to be lubricated. Now what most mechanics say is that if you degrease your chain, you removed all the oil or the grease that's inside your chain. What this does is it wears your chain faster. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give this chain a oil bath. So I just got some cheap engine oil and I'm gonna soak the chain in completely. So I'm gonna leave it for like 30 minutes, but you can leave it overnight if you're doing it yourself at home. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this tub and just put the whole chain in there. Now take our cheap oil and drench it in oil. Gonna take our brush again, clean it off, and just grease the chain in Make sure it's all covered. So we're gonna let this sit for like half an hour to an hour. Let's do some other stuff and let's come back to this in a while. Okay, now we're gonna clean out the inside of our engine where our sprocket is. Just hit all these areas. Not gonna go extremely crazy on this, but just gonna clean it out and remove the old grease. And just with a rag, get all the excess. Let's get some compressed air. Okay, this part is all nice and pretty again. We cleaned every tooth of our sprocket. Now let's clean the back sprocket and then we can go back to our chain and lubricate it. Okay, the sprocket is all clean now. I'm not gonna worry about the excess dirt that is on the bike now. We're gonna handle that when we wash the bike. But every teeth is now perfectly clean. There's no residue, so there will be no contamination to the fresh, new oiled chain. So we're back at the chain. The chain that's in a oil bath. As you can see, there's a little bit of residue that's come off the chain, so that's a good thing. So now, we cannot put this on our bike. That would be too messy. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a hook, attach it to the chain, and then just suspend it and let it drip. Just let it drip down into the bucket. As you can see, there's a lot of black residue in the oil. This was brand new, not used oil. So that means there's still dirt coming off our chain. Now we're gonna let this dangle for like another half hour and then go on to the next step. Next step, cleaning out this housing. Just gonna do the same process again. Gasoline, some rags, and just clean it out. Okay, it's all clean right now. I used a little bit of mechanic spray for the last bits, but it's now nice and clean again to go back on the bike. The chain has been dripping out for like 15 minutes now. And we're gonna clean off the excess oil that's still on there with a rag and then assemble it back on the bike and lubricate it some more. Okay, the chain is now all clean, lubricated and ready to go back on the bike. Now I'm not really gonna explain how I do this, but if you can take it apart, you can put it back together. Okay, what I'm gonna do is leave the bike running in gear so the chain can move around some more. So then we can get more excess oil off the chain and then we have a clean chain. Okay, we left the bike running for like 5 minutes. Look how smoothly it goes. Now let's do a final wipe off with some clean paper towels. Okay, what I use is white grease. Just spray it on the little sprocket and rotate the wheel. You can also leave the bike running for this. Let's do that. Let's clean the excess. Now let's clean the rest of the chain. Now you don't need to be thorough about this. Just run it down. And that's it. Now the last part. Stick the cover back on it. And that's it. Complete. So that's it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something about it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter and on Instagram, and see you in the next one.